Okay, what would be a worse situation to be in? Okay, you're stranded on a desert island, castaway style, for a year, but you know that the year is going to end. Okay,
Okay.
or being one of the players in the Rockies clubhouse.
Oh God. I'll probably do Rockies Clubhouse.
Is worse than being cast away for a year.
Oh yeah.
Whoo, boy.
There's no ending in sight right
You
now.
know, I honestly think that I agree with you. I was thinking about it, and these guys are still making millions. Okay, let me put it, let's change the scenario a little bit, okay? So let's say you either make what you're making playing baseball as a part of the Rockies team right now, or you make that same salary being cast away for the whole length of the season, right? Deserted Island, Tom Hanks style, Wilson,
Uh-huh.
the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? But you
Gotta have Wilson.
totally got to fend for yourself. Which one are you doing?
Still Rockies, dog. Because even after the year, I mean, there's still no end in sight for this Rockies team.
So you're
Three
saying
straight years of 100 losing games.
that you would take the castaway over being
Oh
a
yeah,
member of the Rockies.
guarantee. Oh, yeah, after a year, I know I'm back in civilization.
I think I would too, honestly.
You
I
know what I mean?
honestly think I would too. Like if
Plus, there's some good fishing out there.
oh, there's real good fishing. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll be the best seafood you ever had. I'm not sure how you're gonna, you know, I'm not sure how your fire making skills are, but it's gonna be
Yeah,
fresh. That's for sure.
that's true.
So the Rockies are literally on pace to have the worst team of all time.
Yes.
I mean, you got anything to say? Because
I
I know
mean, I have
I know
plenty to say to this. I know.
I know you get down with the Rockies a little bit.
I do get down with the Rockies, and that's what the sad thing is, because they literally came out on Saturday saying, we support Bud Black, and the season hasn't been what we thought it was gonna be, but we confidence in him and the clubhouse, and we're gonna turn around. You lose 21-0. That Saturday night, turn around Sunday, win, and then you fire the guy, and then
They fired him.
Mumford comes out.
They fired him before, right? I'm pretty sure.
No, they fired him on Sunday after the game.
After the game.
Yeah,
Ah, I didn't know that.
yeah, and then Mumford comes out and says, need a change of direction. Wasn't cutting it out. Blah 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 blah. Like, I'm sorry. First of all, you hired a GM that had no reason to be a GM. Really terrible GM, right? Blood Black is playing or managing the team that he's being brought in front of him, right? Statistically, terrible farm system, worst of the worst, right? We are the farm system for the MLB. The moment we traded and paid Arenado to leave to go to St. Louis, the moment we didn't sign Trevor Story, the moment we didn't sign LeMahieu,
So look,
like it goes on and on.
took
Like
all
this problem's have been going on for a
you
while
took
here.
all the names right out of my mouth, brother, and
Exactly, you know
it
what I
goes
mean?
even
So,
deeper than that too. So
and it's crazy to see because like you look at the Oakland A's,
Tulowitzki would
right?
be another one.
Tulowitzki, yep, and that was my boy Tula right there. Let's go. You look at the Oakland A's, right? The fans quit showing up to the game. You know, they did finally sold out to show that they are supporting the team, but they want them to sell the team to somebody who wants it. The problem with the Rockies is in Denver slash beautiful ballpark, right? But you got
We
the party deck up top. It's just really another bar to hang out at with your friends to drink.
we've talked about how
Right.
cool Coors Field is.
Yeah. Nobody's really watching the games these days, right? You're going to drink, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah, well, what's
Eat a
sad?
funnel cake.
You're 100% right about the farm system for the MLB. And what's sad is I was sitting around the other day for whatever reason I had one of the games on. Why? Man, I guess there must have not, like, I couldn't even get a bar rescue or anything. Apparently, I was watching a Rockies game. Um, so I'm watching one of the games, and as per usual, the Rockies have some pretty talented field position players in a couple of positions. So I'm
They
sitting there
do.
watching the game, and I'm talking to the wife, and I'm saying, "Oh, there's Brenton Doyle. He'll be a good Yankee here in a couple years." Right? There's Ezekiel Tovar. Yeah, he'll look really good in like a Cubs uniform here in the next 2, 3, 4 years. Right? There's Michael Tolia. He's a big bat for maybe the Mets or something in the future.
Yep.
Like, so I'm just naming off because like Brenton Doyle is legitimately. So the Rockies are literally one of the worst teams of all time up to this point in the season.
They
Brenton Doyle,
just lost today, by the way.
Yeah, I
They
saw.
just came through.
Brenton Doyle is legitimately, though, one of the top 5 center fielders in Major League Baseball. If people don't know the name Brenton Doyle, he's a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. He bats first in the lineup, and they're still an MLB team, and he's super fast around the bases. So if you guys don't know who Brenton Doyle is, keep an eye out, because once he leaves Colorado and goes to one of those other teams that I was mentioning, people are going to know
You're
who
gonna
he
know.
is. Yeah, people are going to know he's already won 2 Gold Gloves. You know what I'm saying? So like, the boy can absolutely play center field. And Ezekiel Tovar, once again, another great shortstop playing for the Rockies, who's just wasting away here in Denver. Who's gonna, again, Cubs generally be a good landing spot. It's Chicago. They haven't been great over the last few years, but it's still the Cubs. You know what I
Yep.
mean? The Yankees pocketbook is always open. You know what I mean? So like, Shohei Ohtani makes more than the entire Rockies pitching staff. So there's that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, the Rockies are disappointing to say the least.
My big thing is, look, I know we're not the Dodgers, we're not the Yankees, right? We're not open checkbook by any
No,
means,
the
right?
no salary cap kills us.
And that's
It
exactly
absolutely
it. No
kills us.
salary cap. Yep. But you got to spend some money here to at least be somewhat competitive.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
help you're
agree.
playing literally in the hardest division in all MLB,
I know.
right? Top to bottom.
3 playoff teams in the Rockies.
Yeah, 3 playoffs team and a minor double A team.
Ah, they're triple A.
And okay,
Yeah, they're
triple A.
triple A.
But, I mean, invest in the team at this point because how embarrassing is it? You got the Avs, 2-3 years removed from a Stanley Cup. Nuggets removed from an NBA championship. Broncos, while
Up and up, up and up,
they're coming up,
up and up.
but they they won something, right? The Broncos won the championship in 15, 16,
15, and then obviously back to back in the late 90s.
right? And the Rockies made it to the World Series in 07.
Whatever it was. Yeah, it got swept.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it's embarrassing. Like my lady, we were driving around the other night. And she brought up like, "Oh, we should go to a Rockies game." I'm like, at this point, I don't even know if I want to go. Like, I don't want to support what's being brought out there.
They'll pay you. They'll pay you to go to a game right now. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what
So,
I mean? Like,
well, here's the thing though. Is
I'm for the funnel cake, and that's about it. Like,
the second thing you said is 100% accurate, and that's the reason why they won't spend money on big name players. It's because people still show up to a
yeah,
good portion of the games, and that
they
won't
lost.
that won't change unless people stop showing up.
They lost Saturday, 21-0, right?
21-0
38,000 people went to that game.
to a 21-0 game against the Padres.
21-0 game.
So that you're exactly right about that point. Like if people don't stop showing up, nothing's going to change. Okay?
No,
So
because they know they can count it, right? Like you said,
that's
like
what it is. We're still
I'm-
selling tickets. So like,
yeah.
why would we go spend $800 million over 15 years to sign whoever, and that's just one guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Like nothing against Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant is a hell of a ball player, right?
he's on the back nine. Let's be real.
But exactly when the Rockies approach and you bring him in, that's a sign. Like Chris Bryant at a prime level is not
Well,
coming to the Rockies.
hold on. Let's throw some context in there. Let's see. At the time, it was Trevor Story. You let
Yep.
Trevor Story walk, signs with the Red Sox, and then you signed Chris Bryant instead and gave him pretty much that same contract. Almost.
And
the same
hasn't played
contract.
how many games has he really played? Spends more time on the freaking IR than
0 meaningful ones.
well, that too.
He hadn't played any meaningful baseball for the Rockies, that's for sure. And he's been out for a good chunk of those games too. So, yeah, I want to echo what you said about people needing to stop showing up. So the risk that you do run is obviously like with the A's situation is that maybe the team moves, but I mean, is that really any different than having a team that is about to be the embarrassment of MLB history?
When did Chris Bryant sign?
It's been a few years now. I couldn't tell you the exact year.
He's played 170 games.
It's been at least 3 or 4 at least.
I think so.
I mean, I'm sure you could pull it up, but
Yeah, probably.
well, I got to change topic real quick because it's not
Oh yeah.
breaking, but semi-breaking news. Obviously, the Celtics lost in New York tonight, going down 3-1 in the series, and late in the game, Jason Tatum went down with what seemed to be a semi-serious leg injury, and that's all they're calling it right now. You and I, before we went on, we watched it, um, and what I'll say is that they had to help him off the court, and he was not putting any weight on that right side. And he and the trainers were reaching for something around the Achilles injury, or the Achilles area, excuse me. It's just speculation as of right now, but man, we're praying for Jason Tatum. You and I, like I said, we watched it before we came on, and like you saw my reaction, bro. I hate watching that kind of stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm squeamish. I'm just like my head's down. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like depresses me a little bit. So like we're praying for JT, man, because it looked to be serious.
Yeah. I mean, at this point in the game, at stage of the playoffs, like you don't want to see anybody go down. Injuries are a part of the game, and these guys have been playing long minutes of basketball all the way up to this point and fighting hard. But you don't want to see anybody, but especially a player of his caliber, go down.
Yeah.
And and if it is, like I said, speculation on what we think we saw,
I mean, there
obviously.
was no roll. You and I watched it.
Yep.
There was no
And
roll.
at
It
least
was
the
a it was
trainers
a
weren't grabbing at the
flexed
ankle or anything.
it was a flexed foot, right? The Achilles stretched out to that like maximum position when you're flexing your foot in that direction, and
Uh huh.
he went down. That's what we know. We don't know exactly what the injury is though. So
But it's a tough recovery. Some players don't come back the same, so I mean, you hope that you can. It's just like I said, it's a tough, and especially Boston's sake. This has been a hard fought series, and to go down 3-1 now too, and lose your best player or one of your best players.
yeah, I mean he's their best player, and yeah, one of obviously their leaders. So before we switch to basketball permanently, did you find anything on before we put this final nail in this Rockies coffin?
Oh, I mean, sell the team. I mean,
Sell the team, he says.
I don't
We're
know.
still making money. That's, I mean, obviously
I know,
they'll
but
make money no matter what. But
still, it's just an embarrassment, dog. Like, you know,
all right,
I you know me. Like, I'm a Cowboys fan. Obviously, true. Root for the Thunder, but also root for the Nuggets when they're not playing the Thunder. And my first MLB game was a Rockies game, so naturally a Rockies fan,
uh
And during football season, we were watching one of the Cowboys game, and they lost as the Cowboys do at the end, doing something stupid. I remember calling my dad and just telling him like, why would you do this to me? Like, why would you raise me to be a Cowboys fan? Just this heartbreak and misery I have to endure every year after year, and that's how I feel. I mean, I did this one to myself, but why the Rockies got to do to me like this?
well, the
3 straight years of 100 loss
the
season,
the
dog. Like,
positive out of this whole situation is that the bar is generally pretty low. So when they do well, it makes for a little extra buzz around town, though. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, I mean, I went to the last playoff game, when they played the Brewers. Me and
uh
my brother went, and what should have been continue on to that, but
yeah, they had a chance to win that game too.
yeah, but at this point, I mean, give Kroenke a call, give the Waltons a call.
I mean, Walmart owns every other sports team in Colorado, pretty much.
Might
Like,
as
might
well
as
at this
well.
point. I mean, it's between both of those two. Go 50-50 if you had to at
I
that
guarantee
point.
that return on investment from when the team first was founded back in what was it, 91 or whatever.
Hmm.
Like that return on investment is going to be something significant. You know what I'm saying? So like,
But but like you said too, I mean, it's yes, it's the Rockies, yes, it's the ownership, yes, it's the GM. It's also MLB in this no cap situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
said, when one player is salary is worth more than the entire pitching staff, it's hard.
it is hard, but it is what it is. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, eventually I'll make it out to a game, but
I mean, I love going to Rockies games, no matter how good or bad they are. It's a good time. Like
I hate it, but I love it.
so,
Plus, my boy Dinger's out there. I love my boy Dinger.
worst mascot in all of professional sports.
Oh, okay, I don't know about worst
Worst,
mascot.
worst
No
mascot
way.
in all of professional sports. Bro, it's Barney the dinosaur. What's a worse mascot than
So
Barney?
I grew up on Barney Dinosaur. Don't you even talk shit about Barney like that. All
Okay,
right,
fine. You grew
it's
up on
way
Barney.
too petty.
That doesn't make him a good mascot for a professional sports team. Like
Stanford, the Cardinal Tree. You think that's a better
I'm
mascot than
talking,
Rocky? A
I'm
literally tree with goofy ass
I'm
eyes.
I'm talking. Well, you know how those freaking Northern California liberals are. They don't want to make anything too offensive out there. But bro, I'm talking about professional sports teams. You have
Professional
Barney the
sports team.
dinosaur. Okay, it is
What's
literally the worst mascot in all sports, which is unfortunate because the Nuggets have one of the GOAT mascots in all of sports. For those of you that don't know, Rocky, mascot Hall of Fame, first ballot.
I'm trying to think of? I'm trying to look up worst mascots.
It's Dinger the dinosaur. I just told you, fool.
Gritty? You think Gritty's better than the Dinger?
Don't you ever put Dinger and Rocky in the same sentence like that again.
No, I didn't say
Come on.
Rocky. I
Okay.
meant Gritty and Dinger.
Who the heck is Gritty?
See, there you go. He's the Philadelphia Flyers mascot.
Oh, he's a hockey mascot. He's already better. I don't even know anything more about him.
Oh, come on now. Here, let me see. Let me switch back to you.
No, Barney the dinosaur, as they call Dinger, is the worst mascot in all of professional sports.
This guy. This guy's better?
He's on ice right now. He's skating. Dinger ain't getting out.
Look at him, though.
Dinger ain't getting out there on no ice.
Oh, he will if he has to.
Bro, Dinger
You
can
saying
barely,
this guy's better than Ding?
Dinger can barely waddle around the diamond. Are you kidding me? This guy's out here on ice skates, surrounded by hockey players. Come on, stop it.
You saying this guy?
Here's Barney. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Come on now.
Stop it. Yeah, he's got
It came out of an egg.
he's got a finger in the air.
Yeah,
The other,
for number
the other
one.
guy was ice skating. Dinger's got a finger in the air. That's the best picture that you can show me. Do you realize in all of those pictures he's not doing a single thing either?
What do you mean? He's hyping up the crowd.
He's standing there taking pictures with people. There's no action shots of Dinger except for him putting his finger up in the air. Like worst mascot in all of sports. Official. Seal it. Put a stamp on it.
No.
Debate over.
All
Like
professional sports.
just
You
take
say.
your medicine and move on. Like
Professional sports, though.
That's what that is.
We can agree all the sports. It has to be the Cardinal from.
Bro,
from
if you're
Stanford.
asking me if a tree is a stupid mascot, obviously the
Well,
answer
goofy ass eyes.
obviously the answer is yes, okay? Right? But I'm talking
Okay, but between those Dinger and the tree.
I still think Dinger's a worse mascot if I'm being honest with
Oh
you.
my, bro, you're freaking crazy. I get it.
There's a prestigious
You're around
there's some
when the
prestige.
dinosaurs was around.
Okay. There's some prestige that comes with being associated with Stanford. I don't agree with it. I think it's overhyped. I think half of those people up there are batshit crazy wackadoos. Regardless, there's still some prestige. As Fraser Crane would say on the show Frasier, if you have to go to school on the West Coast, right? Stanford's the school. Shout out to Frasier if there's any Frasier fans out there because that's one of my all-time favorite sitcoms. But anyway, yeah. So there's some prestige that goes with being associated with Stanford. There ain't no prestige being associated with the Colorado Rockies. Okay, so now you just got Barney being associated with the worst team in all of baseball.
No, bro, don't bring don't bring Dinger into it, dog.
You brought him into it.
No,
You
I'm
had,
saying worse too.
you had to
know
give him
what
a shout out and say that's the homeboy. I'm telling you right now,
I'm saying?
he's
That's a homie
soft.
right there, dog.
He's
I
soft.
took multiple pictures with him. He even signed my little one's baseball. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh yeah,
I will lay my life down for Dinger.
He sing you a little lullaby too. I love
I mean,
you.
once again, I was a Barney fan,
You
so
love
in
me.
my heart, that's fine.
We
Ridiculous
all
you are.
hate the Rockies.
That's true. The Mumford.
Anyway, what are we thinking about round 2 here? Celtics got to be close to being done, huh? I would think.
Yeah, I would have to assume so. I mean, if they wouldn't want more, it's because of whatever happens here with Tatum and the team wanting to fight back. But
They're down 3-1. It doesn't seem like Tatum's going to be playing basketball anytime soon.
I'm saying, like, the team like wanting to show something for him. Like,
I mean, they still have the talent to win. Don't get me, even
Oh, they do.
without Tatum, they still have the talent to win. So I mean, yeah, we'll see. It may motivate them, but I definitely the Eastern Conference is way more open than we thought it was 2 shows ago, my friend. So We had
And what's his?
Cleveland
Oh,
and Boston stamped into the conference finals a couple
we did.
episodes ago, and man, in a couple weeks has a lot changed. So put some Ritu
That's what
Peck,
you
I
got.
guess, on Indiana and New York, huh?
Oh my! The Indiana's taking it to them. I mean, they got their butts kicked on Friday, right? And then they came out the other night just
Handle,
taking it to
yeah,
them.
handle business for sure.
But also your boy Spidey Mitchell over here looks like he also has
I
like
saw
an
that.
ankle injury.
I saw that. Yeah, they already
So,
said it was an ankle injury, unlike
oh, did they?
JK. Yeah, it's a re-aggravated ankle that's been bothering him already. So
So yeah, I think they said a game time. It might be a game time decision.
yeah,
So that could be the difference right there in that series too.
um,
And they're already playing not healthy. The Cavs were.
so I still think the Cavs have a chance to win. Obviously, being down 3-1, it's not over. Um, I, I I said to one of the buddies that even Cleveland and Boston both needed to win game 3, right? You're down 2-0, you can't go down 3-0, okay? You win game 3, you're down 2-1. Even if you lose game 4, you go back home down 3-1, okay? You take care of business at home. You're down 3-2 and teams have come back from 3-2 all the time. You know what I mean? That's just 2 games. So, I told the homie that they still have a chance going back home down 3-1. Now, I don't think the Celtics have much of a chance to win the series. They could still win the game and even win the series, but I think that New York's too gritty to kind of let that happen, especially without Jason Tatum, assuming he doesn't play. So I think you could almost pencil the Knicks in to move on. I still think the Cavs, if I don't know, I think they said Donovan Mitchell's doubtful, right? So let's
I
just
think that's game time
assume,
decision.
okay, let's assume that Donovan is not playing. I think obviously he's averaging like 40 plus a game in this series. So I think probably that's that if Donovan doesn't play, right? I don't even
Hmm.
probably doesn't even go another game. Um, but if Donovan is playing and is somewhat effective, you're hoping as a Cavs fan that Darius can start playing a little better, Evan Mobley can dominate, right? Some of these other guys that have um, been there for you during the year could step up maybe a little bit here and give Donovan some help because he's having to do a lot and he's paying the price for it with his body. So I'm not
Yeah, I
ready to
mean we dropped 40 something the other night and still couldn't get it done.
averaging
Like you
40
know what I mean?
averaging 40 plus in the series. So
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
doing. I mean he's doing his part. Like and then some.
so
But I mean Albert's on a mission too. So
yeah, he's a Tyrese is like an old school pass first point guard who can still jack up a bunch of threes, being in today's game. But I think his guys truly enjoy playing with him because he'll find you when you're open. You know what I mean? And
yeah, like,
and guys like playing with a guy like that who's also your best player. So I think that unselfishness has kind of spread throughout the team. You know what I mean? Their leader is an unselfish player, and so they're playing the right way. They're playing for each other. I think we touched on that last episode. They have really really good chemistry. I can understand when you're just talking about all stars, not all the players in the NBA, specifically elite level players, all stars or all NBA type players. I can understand why he was voted most overrated. Okay, because of that upper echelon of players, I think if you were to play, if all those guys were to get in like a one-on-one tournament, I think Tyrese is probably one of the first ones going out. Okay, I think that's why he probably because we've talked about this before. He's not really an off the bounce, killer from anywhere on the floor type of player, right? He's a 3-point guy, either off the catch and shoot, or sometimes off the dribble, or all the way to the rim, or he's gonna dime you up, and he dimes you up really well. But I think the reason that they voted him most overrated is because of the fact that he's not really a killer like that in the sense of like a guy that can just beat you one on one at any time. You know what I mean? Now
yeah,
that doesn't mean that he's not an efficient or really good basketball player because he is. But I can understand why they voted him most overrated because in that sense of the one-on-one player, obviously like what he does off the stat sheet isn't taken into account. What he does in terms of like steals and assists, that's not really taken into account. So um, I can understand why they would say that. Now, with that being said, none of that matters because it's a team game. So he's doing what he has to do to get his team onto the next round, and his teammates clearly love playing with him. So that's all that matters at the end of the day, Tyrese.
Amen, dog. So if we think, I'm thinking obviously Indiana makes it through. We're thinking Knicks make it through. Out of those two teams, who do you think wins that series right there?
Okay, so Knicks and Indiana, you're saying?
Yeah.
Of those two teams, I think the Knicks come out,
I think
and
so too.
I can't tell you why, other than the fact that I really like Jalen Brunson. I think Cat's been playing um, minus a game or two. I think Cat's been playing exceptionally well in the playoffs, kind of giving the Knicks exactly what they need from him. I still think he floats a little too much. I mean, just from his game overall, he used to be a killer down in the low block, and there's nothing wrong with being able to stretch the floor, obviously, especially in today's game. But I'd like to see him get down there a little more and dominate like he can.
Mm-hmm.
But he's playing well for them, and you're seeing guys like Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges. Obviously, those guys are winners. They've been winners from their high school days on, so they're doing what they need to do. And yeah, Jalen Brunson, man, the whole team kind of takes on his and Tibbs' personality. I mean, the team plays exactly how their coach coaches and how their best player plays. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of why I kind of give the edge to the Knicks a little bit. Now that being said, I think the Pacers are probably a more fluent offensive team than the Knicks are, slightly. Um, the way that Indiana moves the ball, again, starting with Tyrese and Nemhard, and Miles Turner's a very underrated big in my opinion, and Siakam's been an all-star, so I think I think Indiana is actually a better offensive team, but as we're seeing in these playoffs, that doesn't always get you by. So my head says the Knicks, hypothetically.
Yeah, I just think how greedy the Knicks have been so far too. It's just
Yeah,
I think I'd give it to the Knicks.
this Knicks team has to make the city of New York proud, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
Like they play like dogs from New York, bro, and like they just have to I mean they just have to love these guys, So I couldn't care less about the Knicks, and I like watching them play. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that I couldn't care less about them, but I'm not. I have no opinion when it comes
yeah.
to
You
the
have no
Knicks. You know what I'm saying?
affiliation to either
But
one.
I would turn a Knicks game on because they play hard, they play for each other, and Tibbs is a proven coach. You know,
Yeah,
whether you want to say he's good or not, I think coaching in the NBA is kind of up for debate. I think he's a good coach, but anyway, so who do you got?
in that series, if
Yeah,
it was between those two,
yeah,
Knicks for sure. I
for
just think
sure, huh?
Brunson is just playing outside his mind, other than Halliburton. But what the Knicks do together collectively as a team versus how Indiana plays, I think it's Knicks for sure.
Well,
And I mean, I think they'd make it close, but I think the Knicks, I would give the edge to the
yeah.
Knicks.
So of those two guys, though, like in a tie, and this is what I was talking about with Tyrese earlier. In a tie basketball game, right? Let's say the series is 3-3, game seven's back and forth, right? And it's coming down to the wire. You'd rather give the ball to Jalen Brunson than Tyrese Halliburton.
I mean, voted the most clutch player. Yeah,
And he is clutch, and not just clutch, but because of how he plays and his shot making ability and just ability to make good decisions in general. You're confident knowing that with the ball in Jalen Brunson's hand, you're gonna you're gonna get a good look off, right? Most likely from him, but if they double down, possibly from another guy. Okay, you don't have that same level of confidence with Tyrese being able to get a shot off anywhere he wants to late in the game. You know what I mean? You almost need
yeah,
to like run a specific play for him. at,
Yeah, to get him to a
in
spot.
that situation, right? It's not like a hey, we're gonna go 1-4 low and Tyrese, you take your guy off the dribble because with Tyrese, it's it's probably going all the way to the rim, right? Which again, that's just in the scouting report. But a guy like Jalen Brunson, if it's 1-4 low and he's taking you one on one from the top of the key, I mean, that bucket could come from anywhere. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I mean I agree with you. I mean Brunson has proven time and time again in this playoffs too. Like he can hit the big shot. He makes the right reads.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean obviously voted most clutch player this year. Like I think that's also a no brainer. But
Anyway, I didn't mean to nerd out on you there with some basketball nerd talk, but
you're fine.
um, should we talk about it?
Lay it on me, brother. Yeah, I'll let you lead it off.
What a dogfight! I mean, like the series, other than game two, the series is literally just coming down to like the last few possessions, and like in games one, three, and four, Thunder were dominating most of game one, right? But couldn't get the job done, right? So Nuggets pulled one out. Obviously, game two, we saw what happened. Games three and four, I mean, literally, it's not like either team is like it's like oh they're playing so much better than the other team. It's literally just come down to like a few possessions late in the game where the ball just happens to bounce a certain way or go in for a certain team and right because in game three the Thunder were ahead like real late. Obviously AG hits that three from the corner, tie the game. The Nuggets get the ball back. Jokic, you know, misses the go ahead at the buzzer, and then the Nuggets just totally championship DNA in overtime, right? So I mean, but the Thunder were up a good majority of that fourth quarter, and then the exact opposite thing happened yesterday in Game Four. The Nuggets are up like the first half of the fourth quarter, right? And then about the halfway point of the fourth quarter, the Thunder kind of start, you know, cutting it down to 1, 2, 3 points, and then they take the lead, and then they just never really looked back after that. And the Nuggets didn't play very well offensively yesterday, but it's just been a dogfight of a series altogether. And I have some Denver fans, the less just your casual fans that I work with, good people. It's awesome. They love the game, but like, oh man, if Jokic just has his normal game in Game Four, right? We win that game. And I'm like, are you guys watching what's going on here? Like, first of all, the Thunder have made it clear that listen, we know Nikola can hit 3-pointers, but we have to take something away. So what we're going to give up is Nikola Jokic jacking up 10, 12, 15 3-pointers a game. We're going to live with that, okay? Because every time Nikola gets inside the 3-point line and touches the ball, okay, if he's above the free throw line, they play him one-on-one until he puts the ball on the ground. Once he puts the ball on the ground, you're seeing at least two other guys collapse on him, right? Sometimes all five guys. Okay, as soon as he puts the ball on the ground. If he catches the ball below the free throw line, as soon as he catches it, he's got three guys on him. Again, sometimes five. So the Thunder have made it very clear that what they're willing to live with is Nikola shooting 10 to however many 3-pointers a game, and they're willing to let certain other guys, even some of our better role players like Aaron Gordon and MPJ, the Thunder are willing to let these guys potentially beat them, right? Because you can't take everything away. You have to give some things up to take certain things away. And what the Thunder are saying is, Nikola Jokic, you are not going to beat us below inside the 3-point line, whether with your scoring or with your passing. We're just going to make things super uncomfortable for you. So it's not like I mean, yes, his shooting numbers haven't been great, but bro, you go 1-on-3 minimum every possession and tell me how tired and how well you do. You know what I'm saying? You go 1-on-5 every single possession getting hacked and tell me how well you do. So this is good coaching by Oklahoma City. This isn't necessarily Nikola Jokic shooting poorly. Okay, even though his numbers would indicate that he is, and yeah, like I said, he's missed some shots, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason why he's missing shots. Okay? The Thunder are a great defensive team. They're the best defensive team I've seen all year. Okay? The way they play defense is next level, and it could take them all the way. So it's not that Nikola Jokic is shooting bad. It's that the Oklahoma City's playing really, really hard and being coached really well, and they have really good players.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, I mean, you brought up the point I was going to bring up is I the adjustment we have made on that, and you nailed it right there. It's when Jokic gets that ball, immediately it's hands up, right? You're seeing hands go up everywhere, and it's Hartenstein guarding Jokic, but you got Holmgren like playing like a free safety, right?
Yep.
Kind of like a QB spy for say, right? And he's there, but the moment that ball's going down to the ground, he's getting surrounded. Hands are going up and deflecting the
Yep.
ball, and like you said, the national narrative today is Jokic is on a 3-game slide of his worst performances so far. But when you're getting blitz and attacked like this, you're constantly getting bumped. Like it is gonna wear somebody down, right? And Jokic has obviously, I mean, he's the team, right? And has done this for so many years now. Obviously, that's why he can win the MVP every year, just the way he plays. What really I've taken from this series is Aaron Gordon. The way he has stepped up,
I love AG, as you know.
bro. I think he's having from last series to this series best playoff run for sure. But just the shots he's making, the shots he's taking, just the way he's playing right now, that's really aside from how Oklahoma's doing, aside from the Nuggets, really what I've taken from the series that it's a dogfight. But AG, the way he has played the series has been above none.
Potentially, without Aaron Gordon, it would have been a sweep.
Oh yeah,
Potentially,
I
right?
agree.
So you brought up another. You brought up a really good point too that I want to double back on because we're talking about good coaching from Dagnall, right? You brought up something that is 100% accurate. After game one, we saw Oklahoma City switch to Hartenstein playing Jokic one-on-one. And yes, Chet Holmgren, as you so brilliantly said, playing free safety on the backside, which does a couple of things. One, Jokic is going to blow by, well, not blow, but he's going to get by anybody that's guarding him, Chet Holmgren or Hartenstein or anybody in the league, okay? Because he's so strong, he's so good at turning that shoulder, right? So he's getting by that first guy every single time. So with that being said, let's put a guy who doesn't do hardly anything on offense, who's a good player. Don't get me wrong, I like Hart. I'm just saying his role is not to be a big time contributor on the offensive end. Let's put a guy like that on Nikola, one on one. He'll be the first wave, and then again, like we're saying, once Nikola puts the ball on the ground, or even before he puts the ball on the ground, depending on where he is on the court, then we'll have Mr. 7-1 Unicorn coming from the other side, who is actually a better help side defender than he is an on-ball defender anyway, and we rely on him to be our second best player offensively, second or third best player offensively, depending on the matchups. So that frees him up. Again, another really good coaching move by
Oh yeah,
Dagnall. I can see why he was the coach of the year last year.
yeah. I mean, we talked about it the first game. I thought the coaching towards the end of the game, what adjustments we were going to be doing. From going from 2 to 3, now going into 4. Like the adjustments that we have made coaching wise has been awesome. Right at the end of the day, this is a dogfight.
Dogfight.
Right, and literally you could not watch. You could miss first, second, third quarters. Right, you could miss majority of the fourth quarter. As long as you're watching fourth quarter, 5 minutes down, that's really the game, and that's within the game right there.
I mean,
Right,
fact.
and you saw it in game 3. Like, what is it? The Nuggets went on an 11 something run, right? AG hits a 3 to tie it up. They go into overtime. What was it, 11-2 run in overtime? Nuggets
Yeah.
win.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
Thunder were gassed in that game. You could tell
yeah.
that they hadn't quite adjusted to the altitude yet, for sure.
And then yesterday, same thing. Thunder obviously didn't go overtime, but Thunder went on 11 nothing run. It's literally
Yeah,
all about runs and what's happening within the game. But it's in that last 5 minutes that's really
right,
the crucial part of that game.
for sure.
Obviously, everything leading into that obviously is important, but that's
Of
really where
course.
the game's being won is those last 5 minutes.
It just happens to be one of those series where that's kind of, again, like other than game two, it's like, okay, I can't really say either team is like dominating the other one. It just kind of has
No.
been a slugfest up until the last few possessions, and then somebody just happens to win the game. Like that's just kind of how the series has played out. And what you were saying about Aaron Gordon, which you're 100% right, and I love AG. Uh, I feel the same way about Jalen Williams, starter Jalen Williams. Although reserve Jalen Williams is a good player in his role too. The Thunder are deep, man. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But starter Jalen Williams is this guy's a hooper, bro. This
Yeah, he is.
I've been knowing about Jalen Williams for some time, you know, because he played at Santa Clara. I got some West Coast connections, some West Coast love. And his brother Cody played at CU and plays for the Jazz. Um, but Jalen Williams, man, this boy can get it from all three levels. He's a little undersized, but what he's not undersized in is his strength, his athleticism, his heart, and he's got game. Just got
That
game,
dog
bro.
in him.
And yeah, massive dog and just broken play, man.
Yeah, I mean the pairing with him, SGA has been an amazing grouping right there.
Yeah.
And I mean he's shown out this year. And yesterday he didn't have the best offense performance, but he was still doing
Nobody
the
had a
intangibles,
yeah.
like what I mean.
It was one of
And
those games where nobody really had
yeah,
it's like the Nuggets had what 8 points with like 2 minutes to go in the first quarter.
yeah.
Like it was just one of not nobody really kind of showed out yesterday offensively. So yeah, it was one of those games, man.
But
It's been fun to watch, obviously. So
like I said earlier, at heart, natural Thunder fan, right? I always tell people always ask me, right, and I always tell them like being from Kansas, like Oklahoma City games always were shown on our TV, that was
uh
on like the free network or whatever, like that's not on TNT and stuff like that. It was always broadcast on our local channels, like, right? And that's why I grew up more cheering for the Thunder. But obviously moving out here, Nuggets fan, first game I think was the Nuggets or Thunder game. I can't remember which one actually now. But anyway, so it's hard going against each other, right? Because these are my teams that I do like to cheer for, and this is a series that I mean I've loved. Like it's like you said, it's been a dogfight, and it sucks scheduling wise because you could tell these guys both teams need some rest, right? And luckily for the Thunder, I mean we're deep, right? So our rotation runs all the way through. Obviously Nuggets it's 6-7 guys down, and that's pretty much it. But
yep.
and so luckily for us, I mean that helps us out. But this has been a great series, and obviously fingers crossed for me that the Thunder win it. But I mean, if the Nuggets even end up winning, like I'm happy for it.
Well, and this probably won't surprise you, but I never root for the Thunder.
No, I know.
I have a lot of bitterness towards Clay Bennett. So it's not even Clay Bennett's fault, really. It's the city council people of Seattle who I'm really upset with, if I'm being honest with you. So I never root for the Thunder. I'm just throwing that out there. I love the game of basketball more than I love even the Nuggets. Okay, so I root for good basketball more than anything. So I can appreciate the Thunder, and I've been telling you about SGA for years now. So
Yeah,
I'm
since we
happy.
got him.
I'm well, even before that I've liked his game. I like guys that have nice feel, and that's the first thing I noticed about him is he has a really nice feel for the game of basketball. So I can appreciate what the Thunder are doing, but just as an organization, yeah, I don't ever root for the Thunder.
I mean, I get it, dog. I mean,
Thunder wanted to retire number 20. Did you hear this story?
no.
The Thunder wanted to retire number 20. And for those of you that don't know, the younger people in the crowd, the Thunder were once the Seattle Supersonics, a historic franchise in the NBA with championship DNA. Okay, they had a banner, unlike Oklahoma City. Um, Championship DNA, and so they wanted to respect maybe the greatest Sonic in the history of the team, and Gary Payton, who wore number 20. Gary the Glove Payton, former Defensive Player of the Year, multiple All Star. And you know what Gary said?
He said, "Hell nah."
Hell nah. Yeah, I didn't play no games in Oklahoma City. Ain't nobody know me in Oklahoma City. I ain't gonna disrespect people, the good people of Seattle. That way, you ain't retiring number 20, Gary Payton, hanging it in Oklahoma City rafters when he never played in Oklahoma City. So, shout out Gary Payton showing love to the six, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that, and I mean, it is known. when and if Seattle ever gets a team, all that history naming
Yeah,
goes right back to Seattle.
it's
So
true. They kept the naming rights. So
yeah. So I mean,
so why the Thunder would
obviously,
even offer that is kind of bizarre, but
I think at the end of the day,
respect thing, I guess. I mean, that like
respect thing, and I think they know too. Eventually, it was going to happen that they're probably going to get a city or a team back in the city. You know, they can keep all that history because, like, I mean, it's true. I mean, what Gary Payton says too. Like, all that happened pre Oklahoma City. Like,
yeah.
Oklahoma has nothing. You know, the history we're making now is Oklahoma City basketball, right?
Well,
And
I did
until
see an interesting stat the other day. Since like '09, Oklahoma City's like the winningest organization in the NBA. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
since 2009. I think. When did you guys went to the finals
'12
in 12? But yeah, you started kind of coming about
about that time.
'09
Oh, '08 was the
about
first.
James Harden.
'07, '08 was the first year in Oklahoma. So.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook, first pick of the Thunder, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I saw it. But anyway,
Go.
he's the greatest Thunder player of all time, no question about
Oh,
it.
hands up. Yeah.
Like no question about
My go.
it. But anyway, what did you think of the? Well, let's touch on this real quick. So Steph Curry's still hurt. Okay,
Okay.
Minnesota right now is up 32-30, and they're up 2-1 in the series. Up 35-30 right now. Are we saying Golden State's done with no Steph?
No. Well,
No,
with
really.
no step, I mean, if,
He's
what
not
is it?
supposed to play till the earliest game six. It may not even go that far. So
Oh, is it really game six? I thought it was next game.
I- I'm pretty sure I saw game six. Now, if they go down 3-1 and Steph Curry comes back, anything can happen, as we've said with
Yeah,
him.
that's more my point. If Steph Curry comes back, it's 3-1. I think anything can still happen. If it's game six, then yeah, I think it's done.
So anyway, but
Which was actually going to be another point too, and what I was going to tell you about this Oklahoma Nuggets series too. I love the pairing of the two teams, right? I think just the nature of the game and how both teams are playing, versus like you have to play the Warriors. You somewhat play Warrior style ball of just, jacking up threes, right? And I think the nature of the Nuggets Thunder game of all around basketball, not just shooting just straight threes, it's just complementary basketball. And I think what also makes the series a great series.
for sure, for sure,
But
yeah.
But yeah, to your point though, no Steph Curry. Yeah, I think it's a wrap at that point, unless Jimmy Butler turns into playoff Jimmy again,
I don't
which
think
I mean
even
we haven't really seen. So
I don't even think that would be enough at this point. I mean, Ant-Man is still playing well, and Minnesota's just a better. They're a better team even with Steph Curry. To be honest with you, they're deeper. You know, uh, they're just more well-rounded on offense. Probably a little grittier than the Warriors are. So
yeah,
I just
just the experience from the Warriors is what
sure,
plays into it.
sure. You know, and again, Steph can make anything happen. So if he plays, who knows? But I just, I don't. We don't have to go too deep into this series because Steph's the difference maker. If Steph
Yeah,
plays, it's 50-50 coin toss. But he hasn't been playing, and the Timberwolves have kind of taken control of the series. No surprise. Steph's the top 10 player of all time. So um, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that series. Still,
I agree.
still loving Ant. Still love
Yeah,
how Jay McDaniels is playing. Naz Reid, good player, obviously. Some of the younger guys on the Warriors have impressed me, though. I must say, Podolski's actually had a nice little run in the playoffs. Buddy Hield's kind of finding form again after bouncing
uh-huh.
around to a few different teams. So, um, you know, but yeah, it's just Steph he's the guy that makes the series go. So,
Yep.
um, let's get into kind of an interesting conversation here. So, what did you think of the draft lottery today, the NBA draft lottery?
So I rushed home quick as I could to watch it. Had fingers crossed. If the 76ers pick fell outside the top six, the Thunder got it. At one point, it was leading towards that way, and I was like, how perfect could that be? NBA best record leading team lands a lottery pick. Like, how
No,
awesome is
yeah,
that?
it's like a top 7 pick. Yeah, that'd have been nice.
Yeah, and so it didn't roll our way or
Sam
bounce our way.
Sam Presti strikes again.
Yeah, and so uh, they end up keeping their pick, and as it goes through, goes San Antonio Mavs, 1 and 2, and I'm thinking, wow, like, are the Mavs really gonna get this? Mav with like one of the lowest, 1%, not lowest, but like a 1 point something percent to land the overall pick. Never have won the first overall pick. Surprisingly, gets it, and I'm not.
Surprisingly, sure, sure.
Yeah, I'm not big into conspiracy theory, but like,
There's no conspiracy going on, brother.
what I mean, it pretty much was.
The numbers and the percentages speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying the NBA is rigged. The draft lottery is 100% not up for chance, not even close. And this history goes back further than tonight, bro.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you
I
think
mean,
it's a
even
coincidence
LeBron's
that
called it
LeBron?
out.
You think it's a coincidence that LeBron ended in Cleveland? You think it's a coincidence that Derrick Rose ended up in Chicago? You know what I'm saying?
And that was another one. Like, even
You think it's a
Chicago had the
coincidence?
worstest odds to get that number one overall
Right,
pick,
right. You think
and
it's a
end
coincidence
up with
that
it.
a generational talent, a once in a lifetime player like Victor Wembanyama goes to the Spurs to be groomed and to be coached the game of basketball by at the time one of the all time greats in Greg Popovich? You think that was an accident too? Like, come on, man. This is
Yeah,
100% fixed. The NBA, first of all, and now I'm starting to rethink some other things. If you want to get into conspiracy, I don't think it's conspiracy to say that the NBA draft is rigged. But if you want to talk conspiracy, I'll take it. I'll take it into conspiracy level. Here you go. You can make the argument that Nico Harrison, now knowing what we know, knew that he was going to get the number one pick, and Adam Silver wanted the biggest international star in the world, Luka Doncic, basketball star in the world, Luka Doncic, to be playing in the LA market. And yes, I do think Luka Doncic is a bigger international star than Nikola Jokic for a multitude of reasons. First reason is Nikola Jokic doesn't care if he's an international superstar. He is, but he doesn't care that he is. He's got no
yeah, that's not what
social
he's playing
media,
for.
right? He's got no social media. He's not out there flaunting it. He's not out there trying to be an international superstar. Okay. Luka Doncic is on social media. Luka Doncic is an international superstar. Luka Doncic wants to be an international superstar
Has his own
and
shoe brand
has
within Jordan.
totally. And Luka Doncic has been an international superstar since he was a teenager. Okay, this guy was a prodigy. Nikola Jokic was drafted during a Taco Bell commercial. Okay, so Luka is the biggest international star in the game. Nikola plays in Denver, right? Even before Luka played in LA, he was playing in Dallas, totally different media markets. Okay, so you could make a conspiracy argument to say that
I got to point to that too.
Nico Harrison knew that this was going to happen, and so that's why he made the trade. Otherwise, why the hell would you trade Luka Doncic?
The perfect point, and I want to add to that. And this is what I was thinking too. NBA ratings have been down, right? That's well known, right? All
Facts.
season long, and
Last couple
going
of
into the last
seasons,
couple of years.
actually. Yep.
Yeah, the last couple of seasons going into it. What's one better way to get your ratings up than trade, like you said, one of the best international players to the biggest market outside of New York City, right? With the biggest name brand of the Lakers, right? In Luca,
18 banners.
right? And say, hey, you trade Luca to the Lakers. We're gonna give you new generational talent and what is presumably Cooper Flag, number one overall, right?
I tell you what, this is a good draft, though. There's some other players. Dylan
Yeah.
Harper, who's probably going to go number 2 to the Spurs. That boy would be the third best player on the Spurs right now.
Oh yeah.
So,
But
anyway,
that goes into that. That's what I was kind of thinking.
like you were saying. Well, here's the other thing, too. Again, we're talking conspiracies now. Are you going to let a clean-cut poster boy generational player like Cooper Flag rot away in that cluster hellhole that they call Washington, D.C.? That
I thought you were gonna say Utah.
that dysfunctional organization that they call the Washington Wizards?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so.
I mean, Utah's not any better. You can't even. You can't. I don't even think you can buy alcohol after like 8 p.m. in Utah. Like, nope. Like, Yeah, the NBA doesn't want Cooper Flag, who's, like I said, a clean-cut poster child, already has massive
Yeah,
NIL dollars, massive following on social media, already has a mega shoe deal with New Balance. They don't want him wasting away playing for the Washington Wizards with Jordan Poole. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come to Dallas. You get to play with AD. Hey, come to Dallas. Here's Kyrie. Hey, come to Dallas. We've won a championship before. Hey, come to Dallas. By the way, it's not like we're a small media market. You know what I mean? So,
and Terry Black.
yeah, and Terry Black's facts. So if you think that the draft lottery isn't rigged, you're kidding
Oh,
yourself. Okay?
oh yeah,
Now I'm not going to sit here and say the NBA is rigged. I'm not one of those guys. The lottery is 100% rigged, no question in my mind.
yeah, and I even think it trickles down. I mean, that's for say so much, but I think it also trickles down to the WNBA. You know, the women's team of Dallas got the #1 pick and got Paige Beckers. Like, you know, like
Who?
you're gonna tell me both men's and women's professional teams get the first overall pick? Like, I don't know.
You said the what? The WNBA?
Yeah,
Never heard of her.
but nonetheless, here I it was set up this way, and like you said, I mean, all the harshness that I mean Nico took on, and I mean we're also there with him, and we talk shit too, like you know,
Bro,
we didn't see what's going on behind the scenes here.
some of the pieces of the puzzle are starting to unravel
Yeah,
themselves. As Michael Scott would say on The Office, my, how the turntables have turned. So, yeah, some things are starting to make some sense now. Now again, I'm a believer in listen, I'm sticking with Luka. Okay, I don't know what Cooper Flag is going to be. He could be the next Michael Jordan. He could be the next, you know, Anthony Bennett. Who knows? Or anything in between. I'm sticking with what I know, and that's Luka Doncic being one of the top 3 or 4
yeah.
players in the league right now. I'm telling Nico Harrison. If I'm Nico Harrison, I'm telling Adam Silver to go kick rocks. Okay, you're a goofball anyway. The NBA's become soft and silly since you've been the commissioner. Kick rocks. I'm keeping Luka Doncic.
I don't know, man. This is crazy.
So I mean that's all I have to say about the draft. I
Yeah, I mean,
I,
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 I agree that
I think it's silliness at this. Why even have it? Why even have the lottery? You know what I'm
so
saying?
at this point, just do
You know what?
record base, do the NFL.
Now that I'm thinking about it, this is why they have the lottery. Because they don't want Cooper Flag going to Utah. They don't want Cooper
That's true.
Flag going to Washington D.C.
Is that who
Right?
finished with the worst
They,
record?
they don't want Dylan Harper going to Utah. I think it was Washington and Utah were the 2 worst teams, or the worst team in each conference. This is why they have the draft lottery. It's not to give teams a fair chance. It's so they can put specific guys where they want them, within reason. Obviously, you can't give a player like Cooper Flag to, OKC unless there was a previous trade from years prior
Yeah.
implemented, right? But they're no playoff teams are getting play. So again, it's not like you have total control about where he goes. It has to be within a certain number of teams, obviously. So, but yeah, those teams that are eligible, they definitely decide who's getting who.
I was just looking up. Looks like there was the Jazz. They finished 1 game worse than the Wizards at 17 wins.
6 of one, half dozen of the other, my friend. One's the Utah Jazz of the East Coast, and the other one's the Washington Wizards of the West Coast. So, like, pick your poison. So
Yeah.
there's my rant for the evening.
No, I mean, I agree.
It was a long
When I
day.
saw
It was a long day, bro. Forgive me.
when I saw that, I was like ridiculous. Not even hiding at that point.
Silliness. It's just silliness. So, what else you
So,
got
yeah.
for me?
Some NFL schedule briefly kind of getting released. Obviously, it's Wednesdays when the actual full schedule gets released, and we'll know what games are what. And
Be a
sounds
good-
like we got
be a good-
Cowboys Eagles kicking it off on.
Yep, seen that. Broncos are playing on
Thursday?
Christmas night. I saw.
Yep, I was about to tell you that Broncos playing on Christmas night. The Bears
I'm not a
versus
fan of,
Eagles
if I'm
on
being
Black
honest.
Friday. What'd you say?
I'm not a fan of the Broncos playing on Christmas night, if I'm being honest. So,
Why?
I mean, I love Christmas. I love Christ, and I love the Broncos. I don't want.
Well, I'm on the
I don't
same
want
page.
those things. I don't want those things to intersect with one another. So,
Respect. Are we two-pack? So, yeah, so there's that. Derek Carr retired this weekend.
Yeah, it's too bad. Looks like Tyler Shuck's going to be thrown in the fire a lot sooner than he thought, huh?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So hopefully, I mean kid was a good player in college, man. He just had some unfortunate injury history, but I think they got a good guy at the position they got him in. Because a few years back, he'd have been a first round draft pick, you know what I mean? And they got him in the second
Mm-hmm.
round. So, we'll see. I've heard good things about him.
So, yeah. I imagine next week, well, I mean, we can more deep dive into
Yeah,
scheduling and stuff like that. Or
something to look forward to. So,
yeah, for sure.
um, I need your final thoughts and I need a shout out.
Um, Final thoughts. Well, was it Memorial Day coming up a couple weeks from now?
Yes, 2 weeks from today, right?
Was it? Yeah. So, what's your go-to Memorial Day? Are we thinking like a cookout, pool day, going to the lake? Like, what's E doing on Memorial Day?
Well, previous years, it probably would have been a cookout. Things have changed dramatically in the last couple of months, so I don't really know. We'll probably just cook something at the house as a family and do the husband-dad thing, I guess, to be honest with you.
Hell
So I
yeah.
hadn't really thought about it. You?
I don't know. We're probably thinking the same thing. Maybe low key. Maybe go visit my folks back home, or yeah, same thing. Probably just do like a small little cookout here.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds
You know,
good. I mean, hadn't thought about it, but that's a good point. It's a long weekend, so
it is a long. It's an enjoyable long weekend.
we probably take the little one to a brewery.
Nice.
He won't be
He's a little
drinking.
too. Yeah, so a little too young to drink, but all right.
Well, we went to a
Takes after
brewery.
his father.
Where we went to a brewery on what was that, Saturday, and I had my own flight in front of me naturally, and Bree was drinking her beer, and in the picture that I took, you see my flight, you see Bree's beer in front of her, and then in her arms she's feeding the kid with his bottle. So I got a good snap of that, of all of us enjoying a beverage on a nice Saturday. Bro, the weather we had this last weekend was unbelievable.
Beautiful.
It was unbelievable. So yeah,
Even today was
we
beautiful. It was hot,
it
but
was it
beautiful.
was nice today for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
bro.
we were, we were out and about over the week. So I mean, Saturday was like 77 degrees, clear skies, and I mean just the slightest touch of a breeze, just to make it not too hot. Because like 77 isn't hot, but in this altitude, 77 is a lot hotter than like a 77 at sea level. Okay,
Yeah.
so like if there's no breeze out here in altitude, 77 can feel more like 87, 90 at times. You know what I mean? And then when you start getting
Hmm.
into the actual 90s, look out. So,
Oh yeah.
but
Like
I
today,
enjoy
bro. It was scorcher kind of
it
today.
was I enjoy the heat, as you know, so that
Oh
didn't
yeah, I
didn't,
love it.
didn't bother me. So
But yeah, I was kind of thinking that, seeing what you kind of do on Memorial Day, and we like I said, beautiful weekend. We took our little one to a little splash pad in Highlands Ranch. So
oh
it's
yeah,
officially
I bet she loved
splash
that.
pad season and swimming season, which is
Uh,
her favorite. So
Mine too.
gonna work on that tan this year. You know,
You need it.
I do need it.
You
Um,
northern Mexicans, man. You're pretty light skinned, so
one last final thought to revisit our original topic before my shout out here. Let me pull this back up here. Can you see this?
I,
You gonna tell me this guy
uh,
is better than Dinger?
we should
Stuff the Magic Dragon.
we
You
should
gonna
put
tell me he's better than Dinger?
we should put we should put a poll out, honestly. That's pretty bad. Okay? That's I had no idea. I had no idea that was the Orlando Magic's team mascot. Okay, that's a magic dragon. Wow,
Known for friendly neighborhood dragon.
I mean that's bad.
Yeah. You
Um
gonna tell me that's worse than Dinger? So that's
I'll have to get
when you
back
were
I'll have to
when
get
you were
back
going
to
on
you
your
on that
rant
one.
about the NBA and stuff like
I'll,
that. I had time to look this up.
I'm glad you were being productive for once.
You know,
Man,
I wanted to erase my case that
that's
Dinger is not the worst mascot.
I'm still sticking with Dinger, but I'm gonna take we should put a poll out, and I'm gonna ask some people who I trust, who I've had this conversation with before, and see what they think. Because I had no idea that was the Magic's mascot. That's
I
pretty
didn't know.
bad. That's pretty bad. So,
Oh man. But yeah, I'll leave it to you, and then I'll do my final shout out at the end.
all right, I got really everything we've already said. Is I don't really have much to add in terms of final thoughts. So my shout out though is not serious this time, but so I told you I've been watching a lot of tennis recently. Like bro, every week I'm watching tennis now, and they always have like tennis tournaments throughout the world because it's like basically an all year sport. Then they're just constantly tournaments, and like since they're all over the world, the times they come on are like obscure sometimes. Like
Oh yeah.
they're playing in Rome right now, which is a clay. It's a clay tournament. So anyway, my as I have been watching more tennis over the last couple of years, I've gotten to know a lot of the players. And last week's tournament was what they call a Masters 1000, which is like it'd be like a signature event on the PGA Tour. It's like a not quite a major, but like the next step down. So it's a big deal. And there's a guy by the name of Casper Ruud, who's from Norway, who they call the Prince of Clay because he's really good on clay, and he had never won a Masters 1000 tournament before, even though he's been a top 10 player now for 4, 5, 6 years, and he won the Madrid Open for his first Masters 1000. So I'm giving my shout out this week to Casper Ruud because I'm getting way more into tennis, and I enjoy watching him play, particularly on clay. So that's where I'm at.
Nice. My final shout out. Same thing. Nothing too serious. Probably doesn't deserve a final shout out, but my shout out is to Bud Black. You know, he
Hey,
did what he could.
I like Bud Black. If I'm being
I
honest
like
with
him
you,
too.
like
I think
so
he's a hell of a
winningest
coach
manager in team history too, by the way. So
with
like,
a losing record, but it's like,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
speaks
Which also
volumes.
says a lot about the
Speaks volumes.
Rockies.
Speaks volumes.
But yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, he did what he could. You know,
I'm a
it's not
fan.
entirely his fault of the product that was put out there.
It's
You know,
hardly his fault, I would say, actually, if we're being even more
yeah,
honest. Like,
he played with what he could play with. Like, you know, he got the deck and
playing the hand he was dealt, my friend.
yep.
So,
So that's my final shout out for the evening.
Bud Black, we hardly knew ye. Till next time, brother.
Like and subscribe.